Welcome to the Nerd Party.
I'm Darren Moser.
I'm Philip Gilfus.
I'm Daniel Prue.
And this is City Alpha 3.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to City Alpha 3, a Star Trek podcast. I'm your host, Daniel Prue, and joining me as always are my two friends, Darren and Philip. Guys, how's it going? How was your week and stuff?
Well, happy Mother's Day to all the Star Trek moms out there.
Yes, even though they'll be hearing this well after Mother's Day, we are recording on Mother's Day.
Right, and so...
but we still get credit for mentioning it.
Exactly. It's also look forward to the DS9 documentary, which by the time everyone has heard this, we will have seen, but as of now we haven't. I watched on YouTube a interview with Ira and a Nana visitor. I think they were on one of the CBS News programs or something. So they were talking about the documentary. They showed a clip. Spoiler alert! They showed a clip from the documentary. Was them imagining the opening shot of Episode 1, Season 8 of Deep Space Nine. Have you seen that already?
Yeah. No, but it sounds cool.
Yeah. Well, I won't spoil it. But anyway. But yeah, it's because it's Ron Moore and Ira and some other guys are in the room. So it's interesting. Because they actually have they have a storyboard.
I didn't realize how long the documentary was. I'm used to documentaries that are on DVDs where they're 50 minutes maybe. This is a 2-hour plus documentary. It's got a lot of time in it.
That's why it's in the movie theaters.
Yeah, it'll be good. Tomorrow night, in fact,
Yep.
we're going to see it. So,
and then also my sister-in-law was in town, of course, for Mother's Day, and she got me a belated Christmas present, or probably got it and just never had it. But I believe, Daniel, it's what you have. It's the original Enterprise. Well, I shouldn't say original Enterprise. That'll confuse people. The TOS Enterprise. Is it pewter? I guess ornament because it's heavy.
it is heavy. It's hefty.
But it's funny because it almost reminds me of the Halloween episode. I don't know if y'all remember that one from TOS, where they actually do turn the Enterprise into a small pewter, or not an ornament, but a model. So, cat's paw.
Cat's paw.
Yes. So, so yeah, that was actually pretty cool.
Man, there's some crazy stuff going on in TOS. Just,
the '60s were different time. Different
time. What about you, Darren? Anything exciting happened this week?
I've been continuing through the Prometheus audiobook. I'm into book 3 now, and because by the end of book 2, I just knew I had to get the final book and finish off the story. It's been really good. I've been enjoying it, and I can't wait to see how it ends. It's an awesome story, but it's been coming down off the Discovery high. Back to normal show watching schedules, and but now is I'm shifting back into Star Wars hype, guys. It's big right now. We got Galaxy's Edge opening up this month. We got new movies coming out in December. It's really the only franchise that's doing anything, right, Daniel?
When does Disney Plus start?
Believe this September. I know it's the end of this year in fourth quarter.
I think it's the fall.
Yeah.
Between
Star
Wars and Marvel products, I assume that'll be the big thing.
Oh, they're gonna have a crazy amount of stuff on day one for $7.
Yeah, I mean, $7 is a great.
Are you? What do you guys? I know, Darren, you're a yes. Daniel, what are you thinking? Are you? I'm
a yes. I'm a yes, just because of easy access to all the Marvel stuff.
I don't know. I'm on the fence because right now I don't pay attention to my budget. Nothing's hurting me, so I assume everything's all right. But when I think about it, I have Netflix and I have Amazon Prime, and so I feel like adding a third one's really pushing it.
I'd say go at least give it a month. Which is probably what most people will do, is just to subscribe at least the first month.
Then binge all of DuckTales and then call it a day. Is that what...
Well, I'm looking forward to The Mandalorian, their new Star Wars show, and that's going to be really cool. And now I'm very excited. We're definitely getting that.
And the thing is, it's if there was one company that has the breadth of content to really, demand your money for this sort of subscription, it's Disney. They have so many different avenues of stuff.
didn't I hear that the other owners of Hulu will like want Disney to buy them out basically at this point? Like,
yeah,
I'm not
I
sure.
wonder how, because it's one of those things you don't know if something's successful if you don't have it. So like, I don't have Hulu, so I'm like, is Hulu successful? I'm sure it is. I just don't have it. But like, because Amazon Prime really at the end of the day, Amazon Prime doesn't have a lot, but there's enough on there to get me, because it's still kind of, I would say, baby stage of content in some ways.
Whereas I feel Netflix now has become Blockbuster in full circle. Meaning, I remember roaming Blockbuster looking for something good and just seeing shelf after shelf of like, how did this movie get made? What is this? Like, they had good stuff on the outer wall, but then there was just stuff where you're like, and I'm not saying Netflix is bad, it's just they have a lot of stuff that you're like, what? Why?
Yeah, I look at the new releases.
Let's throw it on Netflix.
Yeah, I look at a lot of new releases, and there's not that there's bad stuff on there, but it's not necessarily anything that calls to me a lot of the time. I mean, they have good documentaries. I mean, there's one about the recent 2018 campaign where they followed some of the House candidates. That was interesting to me. It would look interesting to me. And then, there's always have some series that are added on there. But yeah, I guess what I like
season 3 of Stranger Things I'm looking forward to, and the next season of The Toys That Made Us should be dropping.
But like Umbrella Academy
sometime.
is great series. I mean, I know it's been over for a while, but I mean, I'm looking forward to season 2 on that. But yeah, I mean, not to hijack the topic, we can move to the actual topic. But I think I like Prime, and this is just me. I like Prime has access to everything. So in other words, I use Prime to get to everything. Like there's a YouTube button and a Netflix button on my TV remote, but I just like going to HDMI 2. Putting Prime on, and then I can, go to YouTube, or I can go to Prime itself, or I can go to Netflix, or I can go to CBS All Access app I have on there. I just like having everything's on one thing.
Oh, do you use like a Fire Stick or something?
Yes, I do.
Like that?
I do.
Yeah, we use the PlayStation, so it's very similar. It's got all the apps, air quotes, so you have like YouTube and CBS, and I'm sure it'll have Disney Plus eventually.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's so funny because I've had Amazon Prime for years and years and years. I don't think I've ever watched anything on it.
Yeah.
I mean, I use it for just the shipping and the other benefits it has. I never use Amazon Prime.
Like Babylon 5, it has all of Babylon 5. I've been rewatching through Stargate with it, and then original stuff like Grand Tour, which is basically what was the name of that old show? Top Gear, but new.
It has the British guys, the original British guys.
Yeah, same 3 guys that
got
left
fired.
Top Gear and basically made their own show that's basically Top Gear, but different name.
Sure. And then for the last non-topic topic, I finally finished Orville season 2. I sort of had those last 2 episodes in the hopper.
And we got the official confirmation for season 3.
Season 3, season 3 of Orville. Deanna Troi, Marina, was in the penultimate episode of season 2 of Orville.
What did you play?
A teacher.
Oh,
one of the teachers aboard. So yeah. But yeah, I thought the if for folks who haven't seen it, but season 2 finale was interesting. Sort of given Avengers Endgame was an interesting. I mean, it wasn't time travel. Well, it was time travel, but it was sort of
alternate
future time, which I thought was interesting because there was I don't want to spoil it if you haven't seen it, but there's a really good cameo that I was not expecting. I was like, it's like, oh, it's this person, and it's like, oh wow, they brought, oh cool, awesome. So that was unexpected, but yeah. And there was a very much Darren. Have you seen the finale?
I have, yeah.
It's very Star Wars. Like I was getting heavy Return of the Jedi because what's the Ewok planet? Like that's what that base
Endor.
looked like.
Yeah,
like
it did.
100% is what it looks like.
No, it was cool. I liked it, and I think my favorite cameo of season 2 is Tim Russ as the expert on the 20th century.
Oh yes, the time capsule.
It's just cool. Yeah, the time capsule one, and I've enjoyed the Orville, and I'm looking forward to season 3. I want to see more of these characters. I like these characters, so let's just keep going.
Yeah, I think I was reading an interview, and I don't know whether it organically came to him or whether it's developed that way where it was a comedy or that's what was the selling point, but no, it's not. I mean, it is. It has comedic elements, but I mean it's much more serious, and I think it's now that it's getting comfortable with that it can be
I
serious.
think it found its own brand of humor. In beginning, it was very Seth humor, and I think that turned off some people. Because I'll admit, I'm not a huge Seth MacFarlane fan. Like, I like some of his stuff, but I'm
subtle Seth.
Family Guy and stuff like that is not my cup of tea. So, and that's fine. That's just not for me. But I really am enjoying the Orville, and I think, there's lots of great sci-fi out there. Or just talk to Will Wynn, and he's just watching through all the old sci-fi.
I know. It was Blake 7, and geez, Cruz. He's going old school. But anyway,
I tried to watch an episode of Blake 7, and it did not. I couldn't get through the first.
So here's the thing, and this is a great segue, Philip, because
we're setting them up for you, Dan.
We're talking about streaming services like Netflix and Disney Plus and Amazon. And here's the thing, CBS has one, and it turns out when they show Star Trek, they get a lot of subscribers, and then when they stop Star Trek, they don't have so many subscribers.
But I want to
anymore.
watch Old Murder, She Wrote, Daniel.
So what we're going to be talking about is basically the state of Star Trek. We're kind of in a very interesting place. I was thinking about this earlier today, and it's it feels like we're right on the edge of maybe overload, Star Trek overload, with all the projects and stuff. So I just kind of wanted to take the temperature of where we're at right now. And then look into our crystal balls and see if what we think is going to happen with all of this stuff that's upcoming, and maybe if we even think it's gonna come out at all at this point, really. But let's just start where we're at right now today, and we already mentioned this on the show, so we'll just briefly touch on it. But we're getting a theatrical release of a Trek documentary. I mean, it's a special event, sure, but that's kind of cool. That's something we've never really seen before. The closest we've gotten is I remember when the TNG was coming out on the Blu-rays, and they had those.
I never saw any of them. I can't believe I hate myself.
Oh man, I think I saw all the ones because they slowly stopped doing that. Like they used to have one per season.
I think they had like season 4. So they're like, we're going to show Descent.
But it was,
I don't know.
But it's like Measure the Man on big screen. Hello, yes sir.
Which was cool. Those were cool events. Yeah. But it is kind of cool that we're here and we're seeing Legacy Star Trek, I guess is what I'm going to call it, kind of honored and brought to the forefront. And we get this awesome documentary that's been in the works, admittedly for 10 years, it feels like. But they're finally releasing this Deep Space Nine documentary, and I'm really excited to see it.
Yeah, I feel like we have to come up with agreed upon terms. I like Legacy Star Trek. I think I've used it. So I like Legacy Star Trek from TOS to Enterprise is Legacy Star Trek. You have JJ, or if you want to, Kelvin Trek.
I mean, I'm almost call it 90s Trek.
Well, but what about TOS? And then what about Enterprise?
Yeah, those are outside of that.
Yeah.
True, but I guess I kind of... Yeah, that's true. I mean, when I mean 90s Trek, I mean that span of time that overlapped mostly the 90s that was like Star Trek to Star Trek. That's TNG to Enterprise.
Yeah. So, but we have Legacy Trek, we have JJ Kelvin, and then, I mean, you could call it All Access Trek, but as we will talk about, it's not necessarily would be a good term, because some of them come outside of the realm. But as far as the current state, I was thinking about this too today, Daniel, once you introduced this topic. In some ways, and this is just maybe just me, for a Marvel analogy, like what phase would you call this of Star Trek? And for me, it's almost I have to think about this before I say it. 1, 2, 3, a phase 4. Because one would be TOS. I think just TOS, and even maybe the beginning movies, to me, is its own era. And then Darren's 90s Trek would be phase 2. And then Kelvin JJ's phase 3. And then phase 4, I think, is all.
It's every time that Trek has tried to be brought back.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really what it is.
And as far as mediums, I guess, because, network television, I guess to use that term, is phase 1. Syndication. And then, I mean, there were always movies, but movies. Nothing but movies franchise. And then now streaming. But anyway.
Streaming. Oh, I like that.
But because, just like, it reminds me of Into Darkness. Star Trek Into Darkness came out. And again, this is my personal journey, which is probably not true.
Part of phase 3 under Philip Cannon.
Yeah, which is probably not everyone's story. But for me, Into Darkness started a resurgence of Trek interest in me. I mean, that was the first time after Into Darkness marked my getting involved into Star Trek podcasting, Star Trek community. I've never, ever been part of a Trek community before then. And so I think now Discovery, I think it's also from a business standpoint, which is fine. But Discovery is sort of that same thing now, where it's sort of prompting this interest and explosion. So it's like, whether you liked Into Darkness or not, a lot of people got re-interested into Star Trek. And then with Discovery, whether you like it or not, and a lot of people do like it, that's sort of now this introduction, one small step into this explosion of Star Trek. And so, to me, that's where we're going.
Would you say there's a lot of parallel to, like, the Doctor Who fandom, Philip? Because, I mean, you have New Who, and that was after a long hiatus from, after the kind of not so well received
that could be sort
film.
Of phase 3 is what we would. I mean, make so like phase 1's classic Who, and then you had the aborted TV movie, which is sort of phase 2, and then it's sort of like, meh, I guess that didn't work, and then nothing Wilderness Years, and then phase 3 would have been the or the I don't know what word to leave.
The New Who.
It's not reboot, but anyway, yes, the 2005 renewal of Doctor Who, and which has been going ever since. So.
Wow, yeah, 14 years. That's
that's
crazy.
That's why I always spell New Who with a U, not an EW, because at this point, it's not very new, so...
And it's cool because, I mean, with both those franchises, yeah, it's new stuff, but I think we could all agree that one of the best part about New Trek is that it might expose... people to what's been there before. And not that... you watch Discovery and then, you instantly have to watch all this other stuff, and it maybe is not your cup of tea, but it's still there. It's, Discovery didn't kill TNG. It's still there. You still have the Blu-rays. But, and I think I know a lot of people who have been, that sparked their interest in Star Trek again and brought back around. But Daniel, I want to know are we also going to talk about the new CBS television studio Star Trek Global Franchise Group?
I am unaware of what this is, but it sounds like something we should probably talk about.
It was announced on May 6th, a couple days ago, and I have it pulled up here. So they basically announced that they're officially creating a franchise group that's going to oversee the franchise, which I also thought was kind of funny because I'm like, but isn't that also Paramount? I guess those don't count in the franchise, but anyway, they've appointed a vice president who is Veronica Hart, and the unit's goal is to invigorate and broaden the Star Trek fan community through additional branding opportunities such as podcasts. We're
available.
Invigoration, StarTrek.com, and a new digital spaces. So it sounds like it's not necessarily that this is steering the ship, but it's more like how they're finally going to say, like, hey, this is the group that's going to interact with the fans. And I think that's very smart because, it's like otherwise you're talking to CBS.
And the thing is, it's not, I don't know how the franchise... Anyway, with All Access, and a lot of stuff we're going to talk about, it's going to be All Access. But of course, recent news, in the past month, Nickelodeon will now have a Star Trek base. Now, does CBS own, or does the parent company own Nickelodeon? Because, in other words, so now we're going outside of All Access. And so, to me, you then need, this is sort of like that vice president.
Or outside the U.S., it's all Netflix.
Right.
It's still CBS produced, but it's not on All Access.
Right.
So,
well, again, I don't even know. Is Nickelodeon owned by CBS, or I don't know how that works. But anyway,
it's owned by Viacom.
Yes.
Yes.
So, but I guess with that vice president, that's sort of the admiral of the quadrant, because you're going to have all these ships and space stations. You're going to have animated. You're going to have, Picard. You're going to have Discovery. So you can't really have like a Rick Berman or a Gene Roddenberry over, because those are all going to have their own showrunners, or Section 31, whatever. And so you sort of need the admiral in the sector looking at all these ships and stations and going like, all right, guys, we need to
right. So this role is essentially what Kathleen Kennedy does for Star Wars, or what Kevin Feige does for the MCU.
No, I would say Kevin Feige is like the
Less creative.
guiding executive producer on like what is going to be made and produced, as well as Kathleen Kennedy is the president of Lucasfilm. This seems more like it's focused on like as a global franchise and its interaction specifically with fans.
Like PR communications, making sure we're speaking
Yeah,
with
so
one voice, kind of.
Right. So less decision-making and more fan relations
Interesting.
is
Okay.
the feeling I'm getting. But obviously a direct connection to those people who make decisions. And I think, it'll
See,
be
I was
interesting
hoping
to see.
for a second, I was hoping we were replacing.
Well, I think that's it, Alex. Yeah, I mean, this is...
Alex.
Well, I don't... And again, I don't know. Someone has to draw me an organization.
Or taking some power away, at least.
I mean, I think so.
Maybe some sort of some fresh blood in there, not letting everything hit him at this point, which we'll talk about. I'm actually a little concerned about that. But it also seems to be the case that, and there was rumors, and I don't know if there was rumors. I think it's just publicly known that the former head of CBS, Les Moonves, was not a science fiction fan at all. Didn't want to give Star Trek and a lot of other properties the time of day. And we see now he's circumstances have caused him to leave.
He's not there anymore.
And now it feels like the floodgates are opening. So, it's possible that definitely had something to do with all this as well.
I'll just say the last part of this article. It says the new franchise group will be based out of Alec Kurtzman's Secret Hideout Productions in Santa Monica, California. Kurtzman, who is under an overall deal at the studio, is the executive producer of the various Star Trek series. So it's basically his right arm, for connecting with, connecting with fans, but also I think just the broader, how is Trek marketed? How is Trek pushed out there?
Yeah,
Branding and a lot of things like that. And I think that's really smart, especially in this age where, with streaming, with short treks, the fact that you could make something like short treks is a very new concept. And I think we're only going to see more of that, where we get different things, where we get, they could start releasing documentaries or behind-the-scenes things or, short run series that have a definite beginning and end, but aren't meant to go, on and on and on and on.
Well, and
or other things that we might talk about.
Well, yeah, I would love to, and we could start going, doing a list here. But, as far as the actual shows are going to be coming out, but, I'd love to see more tangible, like, non-shows. Like, in other words, like, traveling displays, a Star
Books
Trek The
with
Experience.
Books with words.
Whether it's in one place or in several places, because there's no Star Trek theme park yet.
Taking over the convention and maybe running it.
Or having a convention in and of itself, because, I'm sure it licenses, so, it can do whatever it wants, too.
More video games. Let's see some Star Trek Legos.
Hold shift, Daniel. Hold shift.
But yeah, and products. There's no.
Yeah.
I don't know what the newest. I know there's always the toy.
Unless you go to
market.
Think Geek for that pizza cutter, that's pretty much it right now.
And I'm
right?
sure there's, because again,
Well, there've been products. There's been like clothing, a lot of clothing. Like they just had the Discovery
a lot of clothes.
jacket lines.
Yeah.
Compared to hey, look, okay, yes, I could pull open my Star Trek communicator. Let's see. Okay, let's go with number 106 with Neelix on the cover here. This is
You don't want to buy Neelix.
No, I don't. But this is
or his clothes.
April '96. Look, I can open this right to any page in the middle, and I can see pewter figures for days. Or a puzzle cube, a Starfleet bumper sticker. I gotta, granted, roll this back to 90s prices, but, who wouldn't want a bust of Captain Picard and Kirk riding on their horses
who doesn't
from
want
Star
that?
Trek Generations?
And I know that, it's never fair to compare franchises, whether it's Star Wars, Doctor Who, whatever. But, I think about this. If you go into London, there's the Who shop. And it's just what it says. You go in, and it's like Who merchandise from, wall to wall. And, I could go crazy in there. I would love there to be a Star Trek shop in, whatever. It's not going to be everywhere in the world, but, New York or L.A. or wherever, Canada, possibly. But anyway, yeah, it would just be, Give me crap to buy. That's what I want.
You hear that, advertisers?
Because I look at, and again, this is my bias. There's stuff out now. I know there is, but I look at my Trek stuff that's in this room, which is there's a lot of. I mean, I don't even want to think about how much money this is. But I mean, it's all probably produced in the '90s, if not earlier. I mean, some of there's a Diamond Select and Art Asylum, the more recent in the 21st century. So, but yeah, more stuff.
Well, so yeah, let's get into the meat of it and actually talk about all this stuff we have coming down the pipe.
Season 3, Star Trek Discovery.
That's right. We'll start there because that's the easiest. And we talked kind of at length about this on the last Discovery Centered episode, but I just wanted to. I mean, what do you guys? What's your sense? What do you think?
What do we know? Do we have a date or a year?
I
mean, is it next year? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
I would assume
it's May 20.
I don't know if it's been specifically announced, but I would assume it's. I imagine in the beginning of the year, like
2020
or end of the year, beginning of the year.
Well, it came out this year with season 2, right? So,
but yeah. So let's just talk about. This is obviously the one that's definitely happening. But what do you guys hope to see? Any course corrections? Obviously, we're in the future now, so that's.
Well, you say obviously, but yes, obviously.
Oh wait, so we're specifically talking about the season 3 of Discovery.
Discovery.
Correct?
Yeah.
Okay, just checking. No, I think. Gosh, I don't want them to be. Honestly, I don't even want them to ever go back to the 22nd century,
23rd,
or whatever. 23rd century. I want them to wormhole JoJo back, but not follow her, and maybe someone's got to go back and tell this message to the past. I'll go, or something like that. Whatever. But yeah, I just want them off exploring new world, and. Maybe it's not Voyager-esque as far as we're trying to get home, but maybe it's Voyager-esque as in we're cut off from the Federation at large and its resources. Which, to be honest, Discovery's been operating kind of on its own for the last 2 seasons, so it's not that big of a jump. That's what I want. I just want to see awesome stories about these people, and I don't want to have them go back to the 23rd century.
Yeah, and I agree. I mean, I think that's the well's been dry. Well, I guess they would argue it's not, but I would argue it is. And that's just my opinion. But I think one thing, knowing Discovery, which I feel like I do now at this point, I'm looking forward to who the new, I don't know, we'll call them guest stars, because is Anson Mount a guest star? I mean, he was there the whole season. But who the new cast members are, even if for just season 3. Because, there's got to, there's going to be at least 2 to 3 they're going to add. So I'm looking forward to who that is and what they are and all that and what they'll add to what we already know and all that.
I want I want blind, what's it called? I want to see the casting sheets like we did in the very beginning of season 1. And we were all like, head of fungus, research. Where the heck is this going to go? I want something that obscure. And we can just extrapolate for days. That's what I want.
And now season 3, knock on wood for Discovery, will be the first...
And bigger callers, obviously.
Will be the first season with a constant showrunner.
That we know of.
Well, I mean, if it makes it through that whole season.
We know.
I'm just saying.
I knocked on wood, though. That's what I'm saying. And we all know we have our critiques of Discovery, and whether that's been related to the showrunners or it's just our own personal... complaints about story writing in particular, who knows? But stability is good, is better than non-stability, instability. So I'm looking forward. I forget the young lady's name, but it's the 2 showrunners, Alex and the person whose name I can't remember. I apologize. Show running Discovery, and so I'm looking forward to how that goes.
Well, they have a clean slate.
Yeah, I mean, literally.
So let's hope they take advantage of it.
But yeah, so.
It could essentially be a soft reboot if they want it to be, and then they could just reestablish everything and make it interesting. Fine,
and I would be more. me, personally not interested, but I'm interested as a member who's interested in Star Trek. More books. Because there's going to be a while till season 3. So in the next, it's May. So for the next 6-7 months, how many more books are going to be coming out? Is there Star Trek Discovery Monopoly coming out? Is there
interactive VCR board games? Please.
I don't think that's coming out, Darren. But yeah, it's a little bit more Discovery merchandise. They sort of drip drop it. So it's like, oh, here's a disco T-shirt, and then like 2 months later, like, here's another jacket. It's like, can you, a little more? Thanks. I don't know. So, like, the Discovery itself, play with that ship. I know it's not your favorite, Daniel, but it's the ship of the show. So, come out with some Discovery stuff, the actual ship.
And then you can pull it up alongside your classic Enterprise and see how they can dock together.
Exactly.
See if you can figure out.
That's sold separately, Daniel.
Actually, you know what? A model of that version wouldn't be bad.
Like that could be the. I don't know if it would really look that good, but like the Hallmark ornament could be the Discovery docked with the Enterprise.
No, the actual. I believe
Can we
I
get
read
some blueprints? That's all I want. Blueprints. Maybe a cross section or two.
Mr. Sammett's Guide
Hallmark...
to the Discovery.
Nice. Okay, so that's it. I think that's it for Discovery Season 3.
And I guess the argument, and we're going to go over this, I know, but so like, you're looking at Darren and Daniel here who have forgone their all-access subscription, right? Because there's no more Discovery. So I'm interested in what we talk about. What's going to get the Star Trek people for the next 6 to 7 months back on board, if anything?
Yeah.
So, but go ahead. So Star Trek Season 3, we're just going to go ahead.
More short treks.
Yeah, so we're just going to make up the fact that, do we want to talk short treks? Because they have talked about it.
We can talk about it. I don't know that we have any concrete information about it.
I know.
They said they want to do more, but I don't think there's any been
I don't see why they wouldn't.
Well, they are. I mean, what? And I don't have a source in front of me, but whatever I read, I'm usually, I don't read stupid stuff, or at least if I do, I don't repeat it. But whatever source it was, whether it's StarTrek.com or whoever, was that this time with short treks, at least one is going to be animated.
Oh yeah, that's right. Mm-hmm.
So
that's right.
They're going to play with the mediums a little bit. But yeah, they'll be interested when those come out. So what did they do last time? It doesn't mean they're going to do it the same. Was it like every month or every 2 weeks?
It was once a month for 4 months before Discovery.
So maybe that's
because then you would have a 4-month subscription to get them all.
So so if they're doing the same thing, and we don't have a release date, but we're just going to make up January 2020. So that means starting in late fall, short treks coming soon.
Yeah. I mean, it's in their best interest. I'm sure they've seen the drop-off, so if they're going to do a similar release schedule, then yeah, they want to push those out. Maybe they're doing the animated one first, because it could be quicker and easier, sort of a thing. Be like, get that out in the summer, that we can get people early, and then keep that drip going.
And do we have actual, and I don't mean to go through to the end right away, but do we have a timeline of everything yet? Or is there like a chart? Because I'd be interested to know if they're going to use the short treks not only to tease Discovery, but then to tease everything else we're about to talk about. Like, is the fourth short trek going to be a Picard, tease?
Yeah, if they were smart, they would use
Picard turning in his uniform for his new life of something.
Well, if they're in the future, they could have a reference to Picard. Anyway.
But yeah, so speaking of, let's talk about Picard.
Star Trek.
Wait, there's a new Picard series.
Star Trek
coming?
Picard.
Is it been officially titled yet?
No.
I think we're just calling it Star Trek Picard.
I mean, at this point, I would be really surprised if it wasn't called Star Trek Picard. It's like Solo. It's like they didn't have a name for the Solo movie forever, and we were like, at least call it like Han Solo or something. But they're just Solo, and we're like, we could have come up with that name. It's I really don't see it being anything but Picard.
Well, you don't even have. Well, this is my thought. Everyone can boo this idea. You don't even have to call it Star Trek. Just
boo
Picard.
No,
because Star Trek Picard sounds stupid. I mean, let's just say that.
Well, no, they'll call it Picard, and then the second season they'll put Star Trek Picard, and they'll retro
it. It's been a long time.
Did they learn their lesson?
Since he was
Philip?
last on the Enterprise, but now he's old now, and he's got a beard. So yeah, that'll be the.
So this show is for sure happening because they're filming it right now.
Yes, as we
speak.
I was trying to Google, is there a release date? Or even a vague release date?
Late 2019.
So
end of this year.
That begs the question, they're not going to have Picard and Discovery on the same time. I mean, from a business standpoint, that's stupid, of course.
Well, and I don't even know if we know how many episodes we're getting of Picard. 10 at least?
Well, they also seem to, and again, there were a lot of assumptions at this point, but they were trying to say, and I don't know whether they're just saying this just to say it, that it's like 2 to 3 seasons at least. They were like, we were kind of speculating it was just going to be a one and done, but they seem to be pushing back and be like, no, this is going to be a series that, goes on for however long it goes on. So.
Yeah, so I'm nervous about Picard. I'm really nervous about it. I want more Picard. I love the idea. I just don't know if I trust these people. And these people's very broad and very vague. I don't need to be. I'm not even trying to be specific because I don't know
who the showrunners are for Picard. I can't even tell you. I don't know anyone. I don't know the showrunner for anyone. I can tell you the animated one just vaguely, but that's about it.
Yeah, so it's whatever. But here's the thing: this is all we've seen from this group is what.
The
CBS,
Kurtzman group,
as they stand, yeah, the Kurtzman group. All we've seen so far is Discovery, and Discovery's fine on its own terms. I guess we don't maybe have your problems or not. Whatever, that's fine. Picard, I think, is a different beast because you're taking something from before and changing it, and I think. So I guess really here's the thing. I read an interview with some of the writers, and they basically said that. We have to drag him through the mud. I'm paraphrasing here. We have to make him go through a lot of tough stuff in order for him to come out at the end okay. And I'm like, well, you don't really have to do that. Why? We don't have to go down the dark path. We've already done that in a lot of other ways, but can't we do something? I'm a little nervous. That's all I'm trying to say, guys. How do you feel about Picard? I know we all have a deep affection.
I don't need Picard fallen from grace. I don't need Section 31 Picard. I don't need... Yeah. I want Picard to stay the Picard of virtue, the Picard of making the right choice. I mean, granted, okay, if you're going to drag him through the mud in he's having to make the tough call, but he always makes the right call. That's Picard. He always makes the tough decision, but I don't want to see a compromised Picard because I think that
and I think that's the easiest and the laziest way to write it. Is to take someone who has this sort of this ginormous legacy of uprightness. I don't know what you'd call it, but
virtue.
The Picardisms and stuff. Virtue, yeah. And
virtuous. It's
the easiest way to do it, but I really, really, really hope that's not what we get. I hope we get an optimistic show. I hope we get an explorer type show. I just really hope that they focus on, because Discovery. Take it or leave it, Discovery focused on the darker side of things, and we're going to be getting a Section 31 show, and
that would be pretty bright and shiny. I think.
Yeah, let Picard be Picard.
Yeah, I was doing a quick read here from Trek Movie where they were talking to Alex, and now I don't care about the timeline, but I'm just saying for purpose of discussion. So it sounds like.
Timeline. There's no time to worry about the timeline.
But we
don't have
re-emphasizing that there's not going to be 2 shows on at the same time. And then I'm not skipping it, but they did say Section 31 after 3rd season Discovery. So if we vaguely know Picard's happening at the end of the year, so that means it's going to be Picard is next if we don't get short treks before then. Picard's going to 1st season Picard, and then Discovery. And then Section 31. So, I mean, that's the current timeline. Plot it however you want to plot it.
Well, let's say we get, 15 episodes. I'm just guessing because that's kind of what we get nowadays. That's only 15 weeks. So there's plenty of time to have this rotating wheel of Trek where you have... Yeah, where you have 3 shows on at the same time, but they're not actually overlapping at all as far as times. And I would not be surprised of that at all.
And in fact, they have 29 days between each show.
I love it. I love it.
They don't, okay, your one show ends. We've got 29 days before the next one has to come on. So,
let's wait for Daniel. Oh, he's reaching for the button, guys. And upload.
And now here's a short trek of what you might be seeing in Season 4 of Star Trek Discovery.
You guys.
Here's the thing. almost all of Star Trek has been financially motivated. It's a business, and if they're smart, of course they're going to do those sorts of things. They'll throw teasers on for the next show and be like, coming in a few weeks, and hey, we're still getting the better end of that deal. We're getting more Star Trek, so it'll
just be. Look, Star Trek fans we're good. We're even if we're kids, we're adults. So, like, we're just going to be jumping times a little bit. We're going to go for 25th. Well, it depends when Discovery Season 3 is set. I got that. But, Section 31, when's that going to be set? We don't know. It doesn't matter. But presumably, we're going to be jumping times. That's fine. But I just throw that out there, But yes.
So speaking of...
Well, I was just thinking for Picard's show as well, gosh, what merchandise, if any, can we get from the Picard show? I mean, the article does talk about psychological, doesn't say thriller, but anyway, psychological angle.
Blueprints. I just want blueprints,
of
Philip,
Picard?
of the ship.
Oh, okay.
I want...
What ship?
I mean, we'll obviously get... Well, he's got to have a ship.
Well, we don't know.
You say that, Darren. He does not have to have a ship.
Are you saying he's on a station? That's the two options, Philip. Ship or station.
He could be on a planet. We've never had a Star Trek show based on a planet.
That's right.
That's No, I don't think.
The camera looks at the planet and it transforms into his bald head, and it's Star Trek Picard. So.
It could be entirely based in the lovely Californian wine fields of France.
Of France, yeah, of course.
Yeah, because again, going back to y'all's talk about what it could be, or what you would hope it would be, is that, because they've mentioned, and I don't know if it's true, they've mentioned this is going to be him dealing something about the fall of Romulus.
Yeah, that's true. And maybe we could even get some reunification kind of stuff going. Yeah. I mean, they're hurting badly, and now is a good time to try to push that as well. Because
I was recently watching... I think GQ did this video. But anyway, it was the Russo brothers talking about, quote-unquote, their favorite moments of Avengers franchise, or the MCU, which I recommend. It's on YouTube. It's just like 20 minutes or whatever. But one portion they talk about is Captain America and sort of his journey. And with, we can talk Endgame, but without even going into Endgame. But sort of like with Winter Soldier, he's having to reject voices of authority that he's used to doing and going out on his own, and then you sort of have, blah, blah, blah. And so I feel like that's a great journey and story for Cap, but I feel like that's a little like, if they do Picard like, insurrection, he has to step away from Starfleet. I'm like, I feel like that story's been done a million times. So I hope it is what you all said, where maybe even if he's encountering quote-unquote darker storylines, he still brings the light, because I think, to me, what would be interesting is Picard that we know, even if he's older and changed in some ways, growing, of encountering maybe not the TNG that we know, but encountering maybe the DS9 world or even the Discovery world. I say that vaguely, tonally, but still from how he would do the solution in that world without becoming, Han Solo Star Wars, So, I mean, that's, to me, interesting. Because I always think, even in this darker world that's the Kurtzman world...
I mean, I'd heard... I don't know. I don't even remember if I heard this, but, I heard rumors that it was kind of going to be similar to the game, where he's, off with a group of... Because we've seen some casting leads, right?
All young.
That was actually something I was going to mention. It's interesting because all the casts that we know of are very young, and none of them are past... characters,
and none seem to be. Maybe one was Starfleet. Maybe.
I didn't even know what they were.
I didn't.
But yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get the feeling that any of them was like Lieutenant something.
Maybe he's on a cadet cruise or something. Who knows?
Yeah, I think it kind of has I'm getting a vibe of we have to do what is right. Not outside the law, but outside the Starfleet.
Yeah, and I mean, again, that's the whole Captain America thing of, you're outside the government, where Captain America stops representing the United States government, but he represents the United States ideals. And, he sort of makes that break between those two. And so, with Picard, instead of representing the Federation or Starfleet, he's representing the ideals, and even if he's having to break with the formal organization.
It also helps when the government is being run by space Nazis.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
That's a little bit or
different. Admirals.
But here's that could be the case.
That's a little
here,
too easy.
Right? Maybe that's why.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, that could be the whole storyline. Like somebody we've seen this storyline done before. If it's like that sort of thing where the Romulans want peace, but somebody the same thing with Star Trek 6, basically the same subplot of Star Trek 6,
where they've elected this
you
like
just have to deal with that
bat blank crazy Federation president, and then never mind.
Yeah.
No, I think again with some of the books that I've been following up on, I haven't caught all the stories, but they actually have like Captain Picard is involved in basically removing a crazy president of the Federation that is like jeopardizing the Kinnemore Accords and
was there a Picard
like
report?
That. Yeah, something like that. But it's he basically was involved in the removal, but then Section 31 killed them, and and it took him a while for him to find that out. But he obviously wasn't involved in that. Like that's the big thing in the novels right now is this Section 31 report basically came out exposing a bunch of people and what's going on, and so a lot of people are getting called in. And again, I'm not saying that they need to do that. I don't think they ever feel like they have to be tied to the novel verse or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. But
it doesn't mean that if they don't like the idea, they might do something similar. So I don't know. I think, I think I just like what I said at the beginning. I just want a Picard of virtue. I'm okay with him, bending the rules because that's what he does. But at the end of the day, I don't want to see him making a decision that we know he wouldn't have made. Like, I don't want them to be like, oh, we're going to stack the whole universe against him just so he will go back on his morals. Because, and it's like, well, you just wrote it like that to make that happen. Like, that's, I don't want to see that. And it, like you said, Philip, if this is a crew of younger people, he should be the mentor. He should be the
Gandalf.
The voice of reason. Yeah, the Gandalf. And
all right, Picard, you keep your secrets.
The Charles Xavier, and I want to see him helping them.
That's a really interesting point too, and they mentioned that in some of the interviews. It's like you don't often have TV shows headlined by 70-year-old men. Like this is kind of a unique opportunity to maybe it's all about mentorship. Maybe it's literally all about passing on to the next generation.
Yeah, the next generation. God, if that's the title, I swear.
There's two things real quick I wanted to touch on before we move it on. So we mentioned the casting. There's, as far as we know so far, no appearances by any of the other crew members. In fact, I think it was Michael Dorn they asked, and he said they haven't called any of us yet. So if the show is going on they have a plan for 3 seasons. I'm hoping that we do get some stuff peppered in. I want to see some cameos, not actor cameos. I want to see character cameos. I want to see where all of our characters are at this point. I want Will Wheaton to come back as a crazy. They can de-age him.
We need an Admiral Riker.
Admiral Riker
at a minimum.
That would be great. Sela doesn't have to show up. Just kill her off screen. She died somehow. We don't know. In the explosion.
True.
Whatever. And do we think we're going to be dealing with Picard disease?
Oh, Ironic syndrome?
Yeah.
No. Well, I think we're...
I'm sorry, I don't know this off the top of my head. All Good Things, Darren, you're always all about this. When does future All Good Things take place?
I don't know.
Wait, it was, when was the last time you were in the Enterprise? 25 years. 25 years, okay? Because remember the dialogue from the top of my head.
Worf! Yes! Let's go get Worf. I'm going to take a
But
nap.
theoretically, All Good Things is still before... You correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
Picard show. Picard show is vaguely early 25th century. I mean, they...
Yeah, so All Good Things takes place in 2364, 2370, and circa 2395.
2395. Yeah, so this is 24 blah, 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 is when Picard show.
Well, actually, I think it's 20... Well... They said it was X amount of years past, what I think would put it at 2399. I'm going to guess they're going to put it at 2399, and we're going to see the rollover to the New Year's because it's such...
Except the millennium isn't until 01.
Look, Philip, nobody cares.
But the
space time was
built, and that changed.
Come on, it's a
the
Star
law
Trek.
of
If we're not going
21.
to keep to math, what does this even mean?
The rule. Well, remember in 2000 when the Millennium Gate was built and nobody cared.
It's because it was the wrong year.
Rule.
That's why no one cared. They're like, you're a year early. Anyway.
But yeah, so I think that's my guess.
I think you can make a passing reference, man. I'm sure glad they discovered that.
Well, because I can see
Sure.
Picard making some sort of speech about as we enter this new millennium. I could see that.
Yeah. Maybe they're.
He's going to help captain a bridge to the 21st century.
Maybe they're retiring the E.
Good lord, that'd be an old show.
And hey, how long was he on the Stargazer for? 20-something years?
Yeah, but the Enterprise don't last as long
they're
unless they're the
notoriously
B and they
bad.
go off to like. You better get the extended warranty.
Unless that B,
Enterprise,
because they've never in canon explained the B, so you could say that lasted a long time, but
right,
Okay,
because I think it went off into the Beta Quadrant and just
which is not canon.
did like
but,
research. Yeah, it's true.
Okay, so we have 4 more shows to discuss. So we've got to kind of pick up the pace here. And the next one, I want to spend the least amount of time, so we'll just hit it real quick. And that's my bias, so that's
Lower
fine.
Decks.
No, this is the one that I actually think is the least likely to come out. I'm very skeptical
31?
what's going to happen. Star Trek Section 31.
I was just reading. Alex is saying after season 3 of Discovery.
Yeah, okay.
Look, don't want it to come out, but I mean, I would feel like Michelle must get locked down. Must have a good contract with CBS because that means she's in for season 3 Discovery. I mean, is she going to be in the whole season? But I mean, like you're not going to get rid of her and then like remember this character? We're bringing her back. I mean, you would think it would be like season 3 conclusion for her where she's over here now. Watch the new show, please. So.
I just hope we get regular JoJo back. That's all I want.
I don't think.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't care. I mean, I really don't care about the Section 31 show. I'm sorry.
I was going to
It's
say I'm not going to watch it,
literally
but
the last...
I have to, of course. But I don't. If I had a choice, I would not. I really want it.
So if it comes out, fine. If it doesn't, okay. What do you think, Darren? What's your...
Yeah, I mean, it's like they're doubling down. It's like everyone's like, why is Section 31 so, like everybody knows about it? Isn't it supposed to be all secret and stuff? And then they're like, no, we're going to, again, maybe that's their new angle and it's all about covert ops and stuff. And granted, okay, this is the only way I think Section 31 would work. And I'm not saying this is the way they're going to do it, but I could see them if Ash is like, okay, we have to change, and they shift to fully covert, and we actually, like, it could actually be really cool if we saw kind of like a, CIA thriller or Black Ops kind of show.
Jack
but
Ryan.
Within the moral framework of what the Federation is also about. Like, you have a Federation. Usually you send out a Federation captain and a starship to go deal with something. But in certain situations, you have Section 31 go and deal with it. Like, we have a piece with the Romulans or something, and we have to save it, and but we have to do it covertly. I mean, there's ways they can do that, but
see, the problem is intelligence exists. There's Starfleet intelligence, and so when you have Section 31 as a separate division, what you're saying is we do, shady stuff.
But I don't know. I'll watch it because it's Star Trek, but I don't really
don't
care.
want to.
I mean, that's
Okay.
So if anyone wants to do the Star Trek 30 Section 31 podcast, there will be openings. So.
Let's talk about Starfleet Academy. A show that
there's
we don't
a Starfleet
know.
Academy show? I don't think I heard this one.
Well,
Yes,
are you talking
it was
about the
announced
Nickelodeon
in-
show?
No, the Nickelodeon show is, as of right now, unnamed, I think. I don't know if Starfleet Academy was officially if they called it, but it was actually announced in June 2018. It has 2 people apparently a writing team from I just had it up. A writing team from Gossip Girl. I don't know anything about that show.
Is this
or
on
never watched
Lexus?
it.
I haven't heard about this either.
Yeah. We don't know anything about it other than there's a show called Starfleet Academy.
So we don't know when it's set, but we know it's set at the Academy.
I don't know. I'm calling doubt on this one, Daniel.
All right, we can call doubt. I think that's literally the last we heard of it. This was in summer of last year, so it's possible that we don't know anything about it, or that we may never see the light of day. So, we will move on. Let's talk about the Nickelodeon, the most recently announced show.
The only thing I'll say about Starfleet Academy is if they do place it in the same time as Picard show, then we could maybe have a crossover or something like that. I'm just saying, they don't necessarily have to set it in a different time, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Or we could do Monster Maroon because that's what everybody wants. So.
Well, yeah. I mean, I really like the idea of a Starfleet show and a Starfleet Academy show in general. I'm kind of split on whether I'd want new characters or legacy characters.
I mean, that's the thing, is it's going to be a different type of show. I mean, school shows are way about the personal relationships. Like, that's really what they're all about. And then, I don't want like a Valiant, or not the Valiant, but what was that other Defiant class ship?
Yeah, it was a Valiant.
The Valiant, yeah.
Red Squad.
I don't want
Red Squad. Red Squad.
Yeah, I don't want hazing Red Squad the show. I want to be in San Francisco, and seeing a group of kids. I mean, granted, this could be really good. I mean, we all love Tilly, and Tilly is like just a hair's breadth from, or I guess Tilly is also something very different. I'll say that. Different. And she's a hair's breadth from the Academy, so it could be really interesting.
Yeah, I agree. A little skeptical, but I would be excited for that type of show. But we already mentioned it a couple of times, so let's talk about we're getting a Nickelodeon Star Trek show, guys.
I'm reading Variety right now about it. I guess I knew it was animated, but I did not realize that we're finally going into the Star Wars realm. This is going to be CG animated.
Okay.
Oh.
So, I mean, I'll read it real quick.
I mean, that's what most things are.
Yeah, I'm not going to read this whole thing. I'll just read
nowadays,
a sentence here.
Yeah.
The new CG animated series will follow a group of lawless teens who discover a derelict Starfleet ship and use it to search for adventure, meaning, and salvation. Okay, so maybe they're not Federation.
Is it Empok Nor? Is it at 90 degrees from where it should be, and that's how we know it's derelict?
Sure. Anyway, so that would be interesting. Like, maybe they're not Federation or Starfleet per se, but they...
Reminds me of like the Freemaker Adventures, or I mean, it's basically in the Star Trek universe, but very different, which could be cool.
Not surprisingly, I suppose. I don't watch Nickelodeon these days. Like, Darren, I don't know if you do. I know you have kids, and I know you probably do more apps and stuff, but do you watch Nickelodeon? And if so, what's that tone like on Nickelodeon these days? Like, where's the age bracket?
I'm not going to answer for Darren, but I will say that the 2012 CG animated Turtles show was fantastic. Was amazing.
What was it on?
In fact, it's probably the best. It was on Nickelodeon. Okay. Yeah. So they've actually just released a new version, but it's traditional animation. I haven't watched it, but I'm not keen on the art direction. But the 2012 CG Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles show was amazing. I mean, like, really. And I was, I'm a grown adult watching it, and I was watching it every week. It was funny. It was good writing. It was really interesting. And the action was fantastic as well. So really, really well done. So if they whoever ran that show should run this show, because they did a really good job.
I don't know if I have Nickelodeon on my pack. I mean, I have DirecTV for my whatever.
Yeah, I haven't watched Nickelodeon in a while, but it could be interesting. I mean, and I'm actually kind of more happy with that style. I think a lot of current Nickelodeon, I'm not having as big of a fan of the art style.
What's on Nickelodeon these days? Like, other than like a SpongeBob still on?
SpongeBob's still on, right? Yeah.
So in other words, I'm wondering who is that audience? Like, because it's a cable package. Like, unless Nickelodeon is going to be streaming. Like, in other words, how do I access Nickelodeon? Am I getting it through my cable? Like, whether it's cable, satellite. I mean, I'm talking about cutting the cable. So
you have to have kids.
proof of life, and then we'll show you the show. But I just wondered, that seems because it's network, for lack of a better word. I mean, it's cable, but that's an interesting thing.
I assume it will be pseudo canon, maybe. I don't know how it's going to be treated in terms of like.
TV, yeah, I mean, that's canon.
I know, I mean, we don't treat the animated series as canon. At least reasonable people don't treat the animated series as canon.
Shots fired.
So I don't know. What are we going to do? What's it going to be like? It really does depend on the tone. And like you said, Philip, like Nickelodeon is for a big age range. I mean, you have shows, aimed at really young kids, and then you have shows aimed at much more mature viewers. So it really depends. Like, is it going to be Dora? And we're just going to be learning our how
like,
to
is
spell.
Nickelodeon try to go like Cartoon Network, sort of like, oh, we're for kids, wink, we're for adults. Like, I mean, that's I guess from a company standpoint,
Or,
what's Nickelodeon doing?
animated series style. I mean, which was basically just season 4 of Star Trek,
It's interesting, Philip, that you mentioned Cartoon Network. Because the other show that we know is coming is Star Trek Lower
Yes,
Decks.
from those who brought you other shows. Rick and Morty.
Rick and Morty. Now, this is also going to be... This is an animation show. This is traditionally animated, I believe, like Rick and Morty. And this is a show that's going to be focused on the lower deck crew of one of Starfleet's least important vessels, which is kind of a... This is probably has me the most excited in terms of like fresh and newness and like really interesting perspective on things. And I think if it's treated with respect, both the humor elements and the Star Trek elements, it could be a really fun kind of thing that we've never seen.
Yeah,
before.
and again, not that I'm saying Alex is gospel, but the quote from Alex Kurtzman said, "There will be no mockery." So take that for what it's worth.
So wait, have we been told what besides being called Lower Decks is about?
What you just said.
Have we been given a blurb?
Just lower deck crew on one of Starfleet's least important vessels.
Okay. See, I would love Lower Decks to be like each week we jump around to a different show. Like, I want to see a DS9 Lower Decks cartoon episode and then a Next Gen. Like, I want to see it be the one that's the glue combining everything. Like, that lets us dip back into all these previous shows. That's what I would like to see.
You're going to have to make it yourself.
Because with animation, you could do that. I'm not saying, I don't know if they're going to do that, but...
And it's going to be on All Access, so...
Yeah, so we'll see. I mean,
so again, I wonder how many series... Because again, what's the time? It doesn't matter to me what the timeline looks like. I'm just asking an honest question. Like, what's the timeline look like? Where does that slam between which series? Because I assume there's not going to be a lot of animated episodes. That's just me saying that. I could be wrong. So...
Yeah, I don't know. Here's the thing. If all of these things come to pass, and it may be that some of them do and some of them don't, it may be that this all collapses under its own weight, but I have a real concern about over fatigue at this point. I don't want... I feel Star Wars fatigue. I have for a while, and I know some people do. Some people feel the same with like Marvel. Like, people don't want to watch 30 movies before they can go to a new movie. There's a breaking point, and I worry that if we get all of this, we may reach or surpass it. But if all of these things, you let some of them go when they're not succeeding, and you really boost the ones that are doing well, this would essentially eclipse. This would overshadow what we consider the golden age of Star Trek in the 90s. This is a lot more content than anything that we had back then. So are you guys excited? Are you nervous? Are you, in closing, where are you in terms of your anticipation of what's about to happen?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, personally, do I think I'll like a lot of these things? I think no. I mean, I'm not trying to be like, I'm going to sit here with my arms folded, but just hearing it, I'm like, it doesn't necessarily sound like anything's going to be my cup of tea, just coming from where I came from in Star Trek fandom, but I'm going to watch them all, open mind, all that, of course. But I think for the franchise, it's good. I mean, it's a lot of business stuff, which we said is fine. That's the reality of the world. Like I was just saying, the Lower Decks is going to be the first production of CBS Animation Productions, a newly launched animation arm of CBS Television Studios. So, Star Trek is known for being a first, whether it's UPN, whether, blah, blah, blah. It's sort of always being a vehicle for things, syndication, all that, blah, blah. So, but I mean, I'm not too worried about it being too much, because I get the concept, we want subscribers to not cancel their subscription, so I get it. I think the only thing that gives me pause as all of us who like to think about Star Trek, it's going to be hard to think about things when there's a new thing. So it's like, guys, what do we think of Star Trek Discovery Season 3? Oh, no time. Lower Decks is coming. Okay. All right, well, Lower Decks is over. What do we think about... Oh, Picard show's on. All right, go. All right, Picard show, what do we think? And if okay, there's no time to sort of sit a summer, and think about, like, hey, what'd you think about that season of whatever? So, that's my only thing is people who like to think about Star Trek.
Yeah, I get the feeling we're going... Like, I don't think it's going to be saturation yet. I think it's diverse enough, meaning, like, you have the animated show and you have the show over here and you show over there. Like, I think you're going to find people who are more like, okay, I like these... I really enjoy watching Discovery and Star Trek Picard, but, Section 31, I watched the first season and didn't really get into it, and they don't... I feel like there's going to be less pressure to watch everything because there's so much variety out there. Like, there might be people who are like, oh, the animated show is good, but there might be people like, I just never really wanted to watch the animated show, and I don't feel like you're going to miss anything if you miss one of these. They're not overlapped in that way. I don't think that's going to be the case. So I think I'm fine with, more Trek. I mean, who knows? Eventually, we're going to probably get another movie of some sorts. Was it 3 seasons in a movie?
7
Is that
seasons.
how it goes?
There's 6 seasons
7 seasons in a movie.
Yeah, I was just thinking 10 years from now, man, it'll be so easy to get someone for any Star Trek convention. Yeah, how many shows will you have to choose from at that point? Like, there's like 10 Star Trek shows. I think we can get someone who was like either, the cell animator from Lower Decks, or we can get someone who was a gaffer on Star Trek Picard, or, there's going to be Star Trek alumni out the wazoo in, a decade.
Well, I hope they keep, I hope they keep reusing the old classic people as well, because it'd be fun to see them pop up from time to time in whatever form that may take. But yeah, so a lot to look forward to. And obviously, we're going to be here. We'll have to reevaluate if it does become that crazy with back-to-back shows and stuff. We'll have to reevaluate. I think we all enjoy the new stuff, but we also really like the old stuff that we want to talk about. So we're not going to be ever... I don't think we will ever become just a weekly review show for the entirety of the year.
For the Star Trek verse.
Yeah. So we'll have to discuss if it gets that bad. But anyways, Darren, if we wanted to talk to you about which franchise has more new shows coming out, is it Star Trek or Star Wars? How would they get a hold of you?
Let me crunch the numbers, and they can find me on Dr. Sci-Fi, either Twitter, Twitch, or Instagram, DRSCIFI.
And Philip, if people wanted to talk to you about the best remedies for the Irumodic syndrome, how would they get a hold of you?
They're laughing at me. Why are they laughing? They can find me on Twitter at NC Public Servant.
And if people want to get a hold of me, they can find me on Twitter as well at 1UpDan. That's the number 1, not the word. So yeah. So what are we talking about next week?
We are going...
Oh, wait.
Yeah, we're going to go talk about Deep Space Nine. We're going to...
Far beyond the stars.
No. We're going to talk about the last episode, the season finale. We're going to be talking just about what we left behind, season finale. It's actually a separate documentary. Okay, sorry. I guess we're going to talk about that then. So
that sounds wackadoodle. Yep. All right, so we will catch you all next week. I'm Daniel Prue.
I'm Philip Gilfus.
I'm Darren Moser.
Stranded here on SETI Alpha 3.